This will be a tour of my city in City Skylines on the Switch. I put at least 100 plus hours into it. Of course, it doesn't exactly track how long you put into it. And I stopped playing this city as soon as I got it on the PlayStation 4. And there's a lot of features left out in the Switch version. And it runs a lot slower. It's missing a lot of DLC and just random updates. So the only DLC that they ever released for it was the ones that came pre-packaged with it. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. There's a huge abandonment issue in my city, but I think this is an issue of the Switch version. Go ahead and pause it, but yeah, you can tell, just looking at it, like the whole city is basically abandoned, but we still have 100,000 plus people living there. If there wasn't abandonment issues, you'd probably have 1 million plus people here. And you can't change the size of your bulldozer, so you'd have to go in and click every single individual building, which is not ideal. There's also no terrain editing in this version. If there was, I would have put the small airport here, which is why it spells out air. But it's basically 5 cities. Right over here is Chesapeake. And I did this part, welcoming everyone to Loogan Shore, Isla, Cali, with an airport. That being the airport doesn't make sense. We got a posh mall near the entrance. All kinds of businesses. You can see that, like, I definitely put a lot of time into it. There's a hospital there. That's just your standard park with trees. Like the road layout, it's not the greatest, but it's there. And you got this road here with some utilities. You got a fire station, elementary school, police headquarters, and high school. You got this large playground here. You got some decent connections of paths, lots of trees. I mean, besides it being an abandoned city, it's a nice city. I mean, you can see the year that it is in game, it's 2066. So, like that's a lot. They have underground transport. I'll show you that in a bit too. Like, if you went straight past all of this residential, not there, but you keep going here, you turn here, and you can exit to the highway. Like, there's good connections, it's just, it's all abandoned. This is Diamond City. They got some ore industry in this area. I know technically diamonds aren't ores, but you know, it is what it is. And it sounded cool. You have a casino right here. So like the center of Diamond City is a casino. basically Sin City, somewhat anyways. You got like a St. Louis Arch here, it's called a business park in this game. I would pretend like it's a Stargate, and that people go there to travel to other places in the world. That's the reason why I put it like that. I know it's not actually a Stargate, but that's what I thought for that. You got this massive Hadron Collider, which makes education like not an issue at all. You got this area that just hasn't developed yet. You got all of this. Like, it's a big city. You got a science center here. It's pretty neat, I think. And there's a... Well, I'll go back to the underground later. I was gonna say there is a subway near it, I just don't remember where. You got a stadium, and they're called the DC Destroyers. You don't have the stadium DLC in this game, so it's not as cool, but it's there. You got this IT Class of Order office. It's a pretty cool big building as soon as you enter the city. Would it make sense for that being there? Not really, but yeah, it looks cool. I would totally upgrade those to the better water towers. Like I said, it's missing all the DLC, so the highway entrance into here is crazy, but it works. Like traffic, I mean, it doesn't give you a percentage on traffic and all that, but it's pretty cool. You got this section to bypass and go into that city, but you also hop on the highway and go there. Like, there's a lot of options to get into places. You got Breachwood over here, and this is your oil. Lots of oil. You got a prison here, surrounded by some geothermal heating plants. I like to pretend that they get forced to work on the plants as free labor, because, you know, prisons, they like to use free labor. You got the Theater of Wonders here. Trying to point out all the major landmarks. Just give you a decent tour. I mean, I could. There's a way to... Yeah, I don't remember. There's a way to, like, hide it. Oh, it's just like that. So I'll do a quick tour like that in a bit. But you got this nice area, like I said, that's your Theater of Wonders. And there is a subway station right there, so people can just hop on the subway to get there. You got some low density inside the city, something I don't typically do. But I figured, why not? And I built the city from scratch, so like, there's a lot of effort. You got the Servicing Services office here, with a highway subway connection. It's pretty neat. You got more Breachwood over here. You got a suburb type situation here with just a bunch of low density. You got riding stables there. You got a little bit of businesses. You got a little pier for a restaurant. Like, there's stuff in it. It's not a secluded area, and like there is a subway to it, so like that's a bit insane. Then you got this what I would probably consider wealthy people area for it. And like some housing is on the outside by the highway. Maybe not the best type of thing to do, but it works. And then you got some IT clusters. Then you got a sea and skyscraper put here. Like, I put a lot of effort into it. You got a subway somewhere in here. I'll show you the subway system in a bit. Like, there's decent highway connection there. You got a community college here because you don't have the university DLC. And if you were to follow this road, you can see that this isn't connected, but if you go onto this road and into here, you can get all this. There's an expo center, the Statue of Industry, a botanical garden, another restaurant pier, or a fishing pier, sorry. It's been a long time since I played this save, and I don't plan on playing it anymore. You got a zoo there. You got some more residential up on the hill, right beside a cemetery. And then at the very end, you got this sewage area, the Anchorage Solar Sewage Company. Yes, I know what it spells out. That was on purpose. Oh, and I forgot to say, this is Evergreen Acres, and there's even this little bit of town that doesn't have any good highway connection, or good connections to the rest of the city, but there is a subway right here, and then you got taxi, but like everything is secluded in here, and here is its own little Evergreen Acres. And then if you go through these tunnels, you get to Anchorage. You got a transport tower. You got some commercial here. You got a cargo harbor. There's a lot going on for this city. You got a little bit of residential, a little bit of business, a little bit of farming in this little community. And like, there's just a lot going on. Not really any big buildings in this section worth touring. You got tram lines in Anchorage, the only city that I actually put tram lines in. And that's the tram station right here, the depot. You got an aquarium. You got a modern art museum. Ma'am. That's what I call it, because basically that's what it is. To get to the Anchorage Solar, you have to go through all this. Then it's all dirt. They got all this land. Bunch of solar power. The city's well endowed when it comes to the power and sewage waste production, taking care of all that. But you got more city of Anchorage here. Then it gets to like farming with a little bit of high density spread out. And yeah, and then here you got some commercial as part of Chesapeake, although it's pretty disconnected from the Chesapeake. So you would probably say that's a different place with your luxury hotel there. Yeah, this is like all leisure. There's a golf course here. A driving range is what it's probably called. I would hate to be in some of those buildings, because I'm sure there's some people that go over the fence when they drive it, but it is what it is. You got this super highway. It's not actually a highway, but it's like a really nice connection in there. Like, I put a lot of effort into this city. I like it. I would totally have put more effort if the game ran better, if they didn't have all the abandonment issues, and we actually could have all the DLC. You have a courthouse here, tax office, oppression office, which is a weird title. It's just a large office building. Then you have some schooling. Like, this is a real well built up area. I mean, it's not built up, but it would be well built up if it would actually build in this city. But it's basically to the point where you need to delete all the buildings that are abandoned, and that would take hours probably. And I'm not looking into doing that. But that's just a basic tour of the city. And oh, I guess I didn't tour this part. You got the Grand Mall here, some more geothermal plants, some of your timber industry. You got the high interest tower. I think that's Statue of Shopping, or no, that's just a Fantastic Fountain. You got this nice little area, residential. I think it's all residential, yeah. But from the highway, you can't tell if there is residential in the center of the town. That's low density, because it's surrounded by high density. Got a basketball court there. You got another pier, another like, it's a harbor. Got some more stuff there. You got the Opera House. Like, a decent amount of the unique buildings I put into this city. There's still quite a few that I could put in there somewhere if I had the money for it. But yeah, that's basically my city. And it was a pretty neat discovery that it kind of looks like a gun. I did not plan on it when I built it, but it turned out to look like a gun at the top of the city. And like, this is an overall tour of it. At the bottom, like I said, Chesapeake is this center part. This bottom part. You got Anchorage in the middle. That giant green patch with solar panels is Anchorage Solar Sewage Company. Then you got Evergreen Acres to the left of it. Then above you got Breachwood and Breachwood Oil in that corner. Diamond City's over here. And there is like the Thornton Heights area, which is like for tourism inside the city. It's like basically where the bullets would be at the gun is. Like, it's pretty neat like that. But you're probably wondering, how do you get in and out of this city? Because my highways are kind of funky looking. Well, that's your highway. You got all these crazy entrances, some even going underground. It's a lot of highway. That's just a walking path to go from one side to the other. More highway. Some actually pretty standard highway entrance there. More highway. A really it's not too different from the original, it's just I had to redraw it myself, so that's basically just a funky looking quarter cloverleaf, I meant to say, with a giant walkway from one side to the other. More highway that leads to these other two cities. A crazy entrance that takes you into this area. Actually, it pops out right there. Or if you went on the right side. If you went the left, you go all underneath this and pop up right from that tunnel. Like, it's got a lot of thought put into it. Big city with a lot going on for it. I forgot to mention, beside the hadron colliders, the Mall of Moderation. But what you really want to know is probably my subway. Buses, I don't have any bus lines. Or, that's a lie. I have bus lines somewhere. I don't remember where I put them. But you can see all the transportation routes and stuff. Like, there's a lot going on. Those roads are tram lines. I think there's 3. And there's a few. Got a lot of subway. The subway does abruptly end here. If I was able to, I would continue it. It was the original plan up to here and then make it loop and all that, but I didn't because I didn't just stop playing it as soon as I got it on PS4. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where my subways are. Like I said, the only trams is in Anchorage. Pretend like that's the old town. Subway, all kinds of subways. You got all kinds of lines. And actually, this view might be better to understand the roads and stuff. Like I said, there is no percentage, so I don't know if it's like 80%, 60%, 50%, 40%, whatever. And you can't change the roads on certain buildings, so that's why there's that random transition there. But like you can see, some of that is subway, but like also like this, that's highway, or road underneath, that goes all the way around the city and out these little tunnels here. So like, you got massive tunnels, plus a massive subway system, so like, getting in the city, you would think would be pretty decent. But like, I got all of this. I was looking for a better way to view the transportation lines. Okay, so you can see like, it goes all over. You can go from one line to the next and not have to like drive somewhere. You might be going on like a few different ones if you live in a certain part of town, and it might take you a while, but it's probably a lot better than trying to drive through all the roads. And those trees, by the way, getting them to all that out, that took a while. But like, you got all of this subway, like, which explains why there's a decent amount of people using it. Like, you even got subway here. Underground trains, whatever you want to call them. You just got all kinds of transportation options. Like, there isn't much of the city that you can't get to easily, besides parts that really haven't developed. Like, you even have a subway here, and that's the end of the line for that. Like, you got all kinds of options, transportation-wise. It's a good city. I mean, it's obviously highly abandoned, and it would take forever to fix that. And then you can see where, like, this road comes in, like, there's massive underground roadways as well. It took forever planning all that out. And average land value is pretty decent. I mean, there's some places where it dips, and like places where there's nothing built up, you can obviously tell. But like, you look at that landfill and you're like, why is there such huge abandonment issues if it's so valued? That's one thing I just don't understand about this version. Will I plan on making other cities of this size on the PS4 version? Yeah, probably, eventually. But yeah, that's that city. I'll go ahead and show you what policies I have. I have the whole city gets smoke detector distribution. They got recycling as a policy. Yeah, if you smoke, you don't like it here, and that might be a big issue why it's abandoned crazy. But because there's a smoking ban. You got parks and recreation, which makes your parks and plazas the envy of the country. You got an education boost, which prioritizes education over working for young adults. We got harsh prison sentences, extra installation, no electricity for heat, but we produce enough, so that's fine. We don't have any taxation policies in play. We're a small business enthusiast, big business manufacturer. I don't know having all of these actually help or not. You got industrial space planning, high-tech housing. We encourage biking. And tax-wise, we're at 11%. 150% budget on everything. Yeah, we have all the loans taken out. That's an overview of everything in the city. I'm not sure what else I can showcase for this city. And I guess I could better showcase the crazy underground. So like that road comes from there. Completely different road. You got this that loops around and merges into that. They all come up here. You got like a one-way system in both directions, and then that's a straight, so like there's a lot going on. That's all one way, so like maybe I'm using too many one ways, I don't know. I just think it's the version that I'm on, it's not that great. But yeah, I hope you like this tour. Oh, I guess I can show you my power production. So we produce 4,000 megawatts of electricity at this plant. But the city only currently needs like 1,000. Water-wise, produce almost 3 million. Same goes for the drainage, but we only use about 1.2. Heat-wise, we almost use none right now. I mean, it is kind of crazy to think about that. Garbage, we can incinerate 1.3 million. We only produce about 500,000. Healthcare, city's pretty well covered. Average health is 90%. Like, that's a pretty high number. Death care, we're getting close on the cemetery usage, but a lot of people get crematoried anyways, so that's fine. Fire coverage, there's like a 19% chance of fire, but I mean that's better in some places by a lot, so. Police saying we have a low crime rate, 7%, and we can still fit like 500 more people in jail if we need it. So I would say that's pretty good. Education, because of that Hadron Collider, we produce way more education than we need. It just automatically gives you like another million. Like I said, there's some unique buildings I haven't put in, but like, put in all those. Put in most of those. I mean, the only one I haven't put in is the Plaza of the Dead. Put in all the level 2s, all the level 3s, all the level 4s. Ooh, I didn't show you where that telescope is. It's in Anchorage as well. It's right above the mountain. Yeah, it's right there. So it's got a clear view in the direction it's pointing. I believe the Grand Library's somewhere. I mean, all level 4s, almost all the level 5s, we just haven't unlocked the Cathedral Plenitude. We've enacted all the monuments that we have unlocked. And I started with no unlocked, so that makes it pretty impressive, I think. Grand Library, I thought was, yeah, that's where the Grand Library is. Right here. It's the Grand Library. So yeah, hope you liked the tour. That's Loogan Shore, Isla, Cali, and it was built in the map called Lagoon Shore. Alright, thanks, bye, be safe, adios.